And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 586. Today is Friday, July 31st, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between crypto and the community every day, Monday through Friday. Of course, we usually go on tennis today, going on a little bit early today. Bitcoin Zay is running around, so I'm here to bring you this good crypto news. Top stories of the day. United States printed more money in 1 month than in 2 centuries. Bitcoin on track for highest July price gain in 8 years. Cash App for comment. Joe Rogan tells 200 million listeners to buy Bitcoin. Twitter releases details of attack vector used by crypto hacker. And last but not least, Chainlink partners with state of Colorado to help create a lottery game. So a lot of good crypto news going on right there. First and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and look at these prices. Bitcoin's coming in at $11,353. Let me bring up this article, Cam. Up 2.91%. Ethereum's at $344.76, up 7.81%. Ripple, this hasn't been updated. This says 24.246, but it's at 25 cents actually now. It's up 1.01%. Stellar crept up actually to the top 4 coin on the market cap with 0.09 cents, almost at a full 10 cent, up 0.32%. Chainlink at $7.59, up 3.79%. Some other notable mentions. I know we always talk about Litecoins at $58, up 0.87%. So as you can see, the entire market for the most part is green. IOTA slipped a little bit, but the entire market is green. So all looks good and well in crypto, in the cryptoverse, or so it seems. As I bring up these comments, I'm going to bring up this top story, or one of the top stories, which of course, the U.S. has printed more money in 1 month than in 2 centuries. Give me a quick moment. I don't have my partner in crime here right now. And of course, the internet wants to move extremely slow. There we go. The YouTube studio. Let me get these comments up so I can say hello to all the crypto warriors out there. I see everybody logging on, but I can't see your names right now. So give me a quick second. But yeah, top thing going into this weekend and in the entire month of August really is going to be seeing what goes on with these stimulus checks. We know that's a big deal in regards to what's going to happen with the actual here we go. I'm looking for this thing. We know that's going to be the deal breaker or the deal maker that's going to be with the actual price of Bitcoin, what's going on with gold and a few other things. So we will be looking at that throughout this entire month. Let's see if I can pull up these comments. YouTube has, of course, changed their studio and made this extremely easy, as you can tell. I might be without comments today. I'm going to try to bring it up to see if I can do this. There we go. Hold on. I can do it. I can bring them up. Give me a moment. Any luck? I might be out of luck today, folks, on the comments. YouTube strikes again. Let's see if I can go to the actual video. Give this a quick second. This is the good stuff about live streams, people. You get to see us actually live. Access real questions live. There we go. Boom. Pulling up the live stream. Got the live stream up. And I am pulling up the comments. Come on. Just doing that slow load. There we go. What's going on, PFC Wells, Sergeant Crypto, Wire Sparks, Lucky Lloyd, James Doe, Tony Nolly. There we go. All right. There we go. Got the comments out. Let me pop out this YouTube chat so I can see everybody. Perfect. All right, back to business. Like I said, one of the top stories of the day, they're talking about how the U.S. has printed more money in 1 month than in 2 centuries. It looks like the Federal Reserve's money printer has cranked up to ridiculous levels. Pantera Capital CEO Dan Morehead, in an investor letter on July 29th, noted that the United States has printed a shocking amount of money to combat the pandemic. Of course, they said so far it looks like the United States has printed more money in June than in the first 2 centuries after its founding. Last month, the U.S. budget deficit was $864 billion, was larger than total debt incurred from 1776 through the end of 1979. So I'm not sure they're actually just talking about money that was printed or the overall debt itself. But regardless, these are shocking numbers. When you talk about the first 200 years of how long we've been around, which is what, 260 something years, maybe off the top of my head. So for the first 200 years, we're already cranking through that budget as we speak. A lot of it has to do with the pandemic. So Why do we care about this story, right? This story is important because if we're printing that much money right now, not even talking about what can happen to the fiat system or the regular monetary system, not even speculating about that. But just from the crypto point of view, the price is now inflated. It's one of those things where we talk about where it's like sometimes the price of Bitcoin it being low doesn't make sense. Well, now the sudden rise out of the blue isn't making sense, right? It hasn't been any new technological updates. They've still been pacing as per usual, every 2 years, every quarter, every few months, something new comes out. But there hasn't been anything that the general public would know about, of course, with the exception of the DeFi industry that's starting to blossom. So the price is inflated right now. I think the price is inflated. We've already had the one pandemic check. The European Union, of course, is giving out another one. We thought we were getting one in the U.S. Of course, it looks like that may be delayed another 2 weeks or so. And I think August is going to be a big determining month, especially these first couple weeks of August. If the Congress or Senate, the Senate, if they have to go on recess, which I think their recess is coming up for a good 10 or 15 day recess or something. If they go on recess before the checks get sent out, and people need money in the next 2 or 3 weeks. You got to remember, people are living check to check. They're going to start pulling from their gold. They're going to start pulling from the stocks and bonds. They're going to start pulling from the crypto market. So I think this entire month's going to say a lot. The same with the NFL. People, if the NFL, one of the biggest businesses in the United States, if they don't go back to work, if all those team owners who know the governors in their states, if they don't go back to work, I'm telling you, there will be a ripple effect across every state. I think we're discounting how big the NFL is and when it comes to markets in the state and how much money they bring. So a lot of things to consider. But again, I think August would be a big month on that. So when you're looking at the United States printing more money in 1 month and in 2 centuries and how that applies to the price, we're saying that in the price is at 11,100, 11,200. What's going to happen when that printing stops? You got to think about that, especially for those who are just day trading right now. Same thing. Another story. Bitcoin on track for highest July price in 8 years. People, again, want to make sure you're leery of this. If it's on track for the highest price gain in 8 years, of course, we could go parabolic. We could moon. It could skyrocket and keep pushing past 30,000 or whatever. But hey, I tell you what. I thought that same thing in 2017 when Bitcoin pushed past 14,000, 16,000. We were at 19. We were just like, let it go. Let this thing go until we see how far it can go. And then it ran out of steam and we haven't seen it back since, right? So that's something I want to acknowledge here that, hey, it's on its highest July price gain in 8 years. If you see some type of retracement, it's normal. It will almost be expected. Again, no one can, guess what's going to happen next in this market, especially when you have the state and regulators playing, underhand moves that you're not always aware of. But again, just looking at just traditional trading, we're only talking about how big Bitcoin's becoming, how the price is increasing. You're hearing about it everywhere. We're starting to see the scams pop up. This may be the time to pull back a little bit. And you remember, for those who did buy it in 2017, some people are still down right now. So it's not like it's all pie in the sky either. So just some things to consider when you're looking at the price of Bitcoin specifically. As for the altcoins, I know some of you are playing the altcoins. Now it's still time to keep dollar cost averaging into those things. Because when I was looking at Stellar, because I was like, wait, Stellar's at number 4 today. I mean, Stellar was at 3 cents a few months ago and is at 9 cents right now. So altcoins, again, I point those out every now and then. It's still good to take a peek at those. Sergeant Crypto said that's a lot of cheddar. I know, right? It's crazy. What's going on, Brian Smith? Tony Nolly said trickle down economics are BS. Yep. James Doe said the dollar is now worth 50 cents, but we'll just pretend it's still worth $1. Hey, when you got guns in the military, it's still worth $1, but I understand what you're saying. Bitcoin Jake says mooning. He got the spaceship up. All right, Bitcoin Jake, I see you. Thanks for the message for the Twitter faucet too. I got to check that out this weekend, and we'll try to put that info out there. Bitcoin Jake says the dollar has lost more than 98% of its purchasing power since 1913. How crazy is that? Lucky Lloyd said we are an inflation nation. We are. That was pretty good. I never heard that. And yeah, Bitcoin is a deflation nation. What's going on, Timothy Grigsby? James Doe, what's going on? There we go. Let's start a war because nations aren't using our dollars anymore. Buy or die. That is what's going to happen, I believe. USD or WMD. This is hilarious. Your choice. All options on table. I think that is what's going to happen. We've already kind of seen hints of that. Mainly because our dollar weakening to those people that we have put in power or who are, whatever reason, been placed in power in the United States, that is seen as a national security risk. And that allows you to go bomb and go to war with other countries when it's being seen as a national security risk. So I think you're right. I think that could happen. But hopefully it won't. The only thing I think that, well, I won't say the only, but I think it could be avoided as we see more banks develop these custody crypto programs and CBDCs. That's when you see the government saying, okay, we'll play fair. But yeah, we get put in a corner where like the dollar's about to like lose value overnight. Oh no, we're gonna. Hey, you're right. Bombs away, people. That's definitely happening. Okay, Cash App for comment. Joe Rogan tells 200 million listeners to buy Bitcoin. That is right. I'm sure you all heard that Joe Rogan, of course, got the new deal for his podcast where he's making a ton of money. It's like one of the biggest deals since Howard Stern. But it looks like Cash App is paying Joe Rogan big bucks to talk up Bitcoin, according to his scripted spiel on his most recent podcast. It looks like he used the first few minutes of a recent podcast to read out an advertisement for Cash App on episode 1515 or 1515 of the Joe Rogan Experience, a release on July 28th. Rogan adopted his customary tone used to plug advertising sponsors before going on to state some serious technical points about Bitcoin, like stacking sats, as this article on Cointelegraph talks about. He is being quoted as saying Bitcoin's transformational digital currency that acts as a decentralized peer-to-peer payment network powered by its users with no central authority. I love it. I wish it was a way we exchange currency, and maybe it will be in the future. Get on board. So I think this is super cool to see. This is good stuff. I mean, of course, it's like, well, a big company, excuse me, Cash App is the one that's paying them to do it. And we know that Cash App is backed by all types of banks and bigger capital companies as well. But here's the thing. This is what's coming. This is the future. This is why I think it was the UK a week ago or so. We had that article. It might have been earlier this week, but the UK had an article come out where they were basically trying to control all the crypto advertising in the country, right? This is going to happen. You're going to see crypto advertising from Cash App, from Bank of America, from Wells Fargo. You're going to see it from Goldman Sachs. You're going to eventually see it from Visa, American Express. You're going to see it from Amazon, Apple. You're going to see it from everyone, right? Facebook has already talked about trying to actually do their own coin. So my point is the corporate sponsors are coming. And if you have an opportunity to get that bag with them, get it. Because at the end of the day, it's still a base hit for crypto. I'm glad to see that Cash App has ads out right now that's specifically targeting Bitcoin. Of course, because it's the most marketable and is the biggest out there. But don't be fooled here. In the next couple of years, expect to see more of your favorite celebrities, more of your favorite whoever pump things like they did 2017 ICO craze. Expect this instead for this commercial to read out Bitcoin, for someone like Joe Rogan to say, hey, whatever coin, I don't know, Cointelegraph coin, right? Twitter coin. Expect them to have the same spiel but with that coin. So this is the future. That's what's coming. But again, at the end of the day, those will be base hits to get people on over to crypto. And again, if you're able to do some of these ads, go do them. People get paid. I think crypto advertising will be some of the highest paid advertising budgets out there eventually. Once we get back into this buying craze again, once this thing surpasses 20K again. I mean, do you remember at other conferences, people, it was Lamborghinis at every conference you went to. It was Lambos everywhere, right? Like that will happen again. And I think that's going to be a good thing for people, for everyone out there, because it's going to offer a flood of money to go into advertising and marketing budgets as well. So we'll see. Let's see. Oh, James Doe is still going in on the military options. This is hilarious. It's all good, man. Happy Friday, man. He said, if you got guns in the military, we're very civilized. I know, right? That's pretty funny. Let's see. Twitter has finally released the details of attack vector used by crypto hacker. It is crazy, people. Again, so far we know 12 Bitcoin was conned out of people total. And this is where, of course, that during the hack, 130 Twitter accounts were accessed, and about tweeted from 45 of those accounts, and about direct messages were also sent from 36 of those accounts as well. They include the likes of Barack Obama, I think Elon Musk, basically every big name in the Twitterverse out there. So it looks like this was a social engineering attack, though, people. It is crazy. Twitter's pushing back, saying it wasn't anything internal. It wasn't, any of their own people doing this. They're saying they've been a victim of a social engineering attack. And according to the report, the July 15th incident started with a spear phishing attack targeting a small number of employees by telephone to gain network access credentials. Quote, not all of the employees that were initially targeted have permissions to use account management tools, but the attackers use their credentials to access our internal systems and gain information about our processes. The attackers then use this knowledge to attack additional employees, to target and attack additional employees with access to account support tools, of course, eventually breaking in. Now, I have to say, I believe Twitter on this one. I believe them on this. And the reason why is because this is how social engineering attacks works, especially in the crypto space. When you're talking about the ransomware attacks and all that stuff that happened, they will literally just break into one person's on your team email account or something, or text messages, and they'll go through everything. They'll comb through them all. So if there's any clue to anything, is there a clue to another person they might need to hack into, another person they might need to call or talk to, a password, if anybody text a password, email a password, and their account name, anything that wasn't permanently deleted, they can have access to and get their hands on. And from there, again, it's just like putting a puzzle together. They go from there to the next account manager, to the next account manager, especially if they're faking credentials. You call up your manager, you say, you say it's their employee, you cough a little bit. I got a little cold. I know I sound different. I need the new password again. And they give it to you over the phone or something. Now you're in. So I do think this could have been a social engineered attack. It's unfortunate it happened, but again, it's one of those things where if it's happening to Twitter, people, if the entire organization can be hit, then your credentials aren't safe either. Not just when it comes to Twitter or Facebook or something, but when it comes to banking as well, or it comes to crypto as well, depending on where you're keeping your money at. So something to think about. James Doe says, really not about devaluing the dollar. Financial change is needed. Transaction speeds are the future. My money on my hardware wallet doesn't gain profits for banks that can't manage money well. Exactly. Same here. It's never been about this war on fiat. It's about being more efficient. So if fiat currency is the more efficient way of doing things and it works, I'm all for it. It's just that in this case, we've seen that doing things with technology and doing things digitally are more efficient. They are faster. They do have more lightweight capabilities. As we talked about yesterday, they have real-time settlement systems already intact with it. So there's just so many better things when it comes to digital currency. But I'm with you. It's not about devaluing the dollar or destroying some type of system. If anything, it's about having the system in the U.S. jump on crypto as early as possible, so we do have some semblance of control with it on a global scale at least. Let's see. Sergeant Crypto said Twitter's problem is having a God control for accounts. No one need to have access to like that. @Jack needs to make Twitter more decentralized. You're actually right about that. The thing about that, I will say, in their defense, I would say that was the old model, right? That's the legacy system. That's the traditional thought process of, yes, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all these big companies, I have to have control of every account. I have to be able to get in every account. I think that's the future. And that may be the interim we see before we do get those truly decentralized. We talk about DTube and, some of these decentralized platforms. The only problem is since they're decentralized, you don't have as many people working on them and testing them and all that good stuff, right? So they're not up to speed on the tech side. But I do think that's the future for the interim. Before we see a truly decentralized one or the platforms we have now, we'll start seeing platforms just like the ones we have now, but with the promise or something in the contract or terms of service from the CEO and everybody saying, hey, we do not have access to your accounts. It'll be like a Proton mail address or, some type of Authy account where it's like, yeah, Google, this is Google's product, like YouTube is the product, but we don't actually have access to your accounts or what you post. So I think that would be the future. That'd be pretty cool to see as well. Will 45, what's up? Big Connect. Listen, we can never let the Big Connect thing die down, people. And the reason why is because, as we stated before, you better believe Big Connect will be back when these prices are pumping, okay? Let's see. PFC Will says about putting them in check and stop doing dumb things with money. Exactly. That's right. Tonio from the UK. Hello. Bitcoin Jake said 11,300 plus. We are moaning. All right. Hey, listen, this weekend will be a tall tale. Leading up to August 1st, there's always that big pump. So again, we'll see what happens the weekend. And then, of course, what happens if we don't get these stimulus checks, right? All right, last but not least, this story, when I saw it, I had to add it to the list. It made me think, is this the reason why Chainlink has been secretly pumping and we had no idea why, right? Well, it looks like Chainlink partners with State of Colorado to help create a lottery game. That is right. Chainlink and the Colorado State Lottery have partnered. Listen, people, first of all, I have to tell you, I got some fresh squeezed orange juice right here. And my taste buds just exploded when I tasted that. I mean, I had to swallow again because it was just like pause, but it was just crazy. It was just that the juice. It was great, people. It made me lose my thought about this State of Colorado, Colorado State Lottery game that partnered with Chainlink on a hackathon with the goal of creating new games to generate $1 billion in future revenues from its lottery. It looks like Chainlink in the state of Colorado that has partnered on that hackathon. It looks like there's $17,500 in prizes available for 3 winners, plus an additional $8,500 in Web3 bonus prizes sponsored by Chainlink. Their goal, it looks like, is going to be to have $1 billion in revenue for the Colorado Lottery, which is pretty incredible. It looks like the Colorado Lottery has created a game jam hackathon that is open to participants from around the world. The state lottery hopes the new innovative games will help reach its $1 billion revenue goal to fund outdoor recreation, land conservation, and schools in Colorado, along with its commitment to responsible gaming. I love how they say they're gonna. These are the things that $1 billion. So you're gonna use $1 billion on outdoor rec, land conservation, schools, and responsible gaming. Nobody gonna buy a new car, a new house with it. All right, hey, however you all do business, that's not for me to question. But regardless, this is a pretty cool new thing that's coming. Again, as we always say, this is a base hit for crypto. This does explain a little bit why that Chainlink price was pumping. Of course, when we first saw it came out of left field for us. Bitcoin Zay was like, I don't know why it's pumping all of a sudden. I know DeFi and there's all types of stuff going on. But it's stuff like this that you might not hear about, and then it finally gets released. So hey, congrats to Chainlink. Congratulations to Chainlink. This is a great partnership. Colorado State Lottery. This is what you want to see, people. You want to start seeing cryptocurrency companies get into bed with actual government, get in bed with states, start doing things that are integral to just regular human experience. Where now you say, oh, I'm playing a lotto, and you don't even know this has something to do with cryptocurrency on the back end. So really cool to see that. And of course, Colorado Governor Jared Polis also spoke about some of the successful projects in crypto that's going on over in Wyoming. So one of the things we keep talking about and pointing out is Wyoming. They're being a leader in the crypto space and industry from a government point of view. And as we see, is pushing other states to follow their lead as well. So he's quoted as saying, last year we launched Colorado Digital Services to begin developing critical public-private technology relationships to position our state government as a tech leader, but more importantly, to better serve our population through technology. As I said, he dressed it up in a prettier way than what I said, but I said getting into bed with crypto companies and government. He said that the critical public-private technology relationships. So I think this is extremely important, and every state, already our country's behind, but every state that doesn't jump on this, I think they're going to get left behind. It's going to be like how Silicon Valley in San Francisco is, where you have an entire city of billionaires and everyone else around you is just super poor. I think that's going to happen with some of these states when crypto starts to take off. You're going to see the Colorados, the Wyomings, everyone, the Delawares, everyone who's getting on board early. You're going to see them start taking off, becoming the Silicon Valleys, become these states where they have a surplus of billions of dollars because of their work population and because of the regulations around it. And then you're going to see people like, some parts of California right now, or New York, of course, is the prime example, begin to suffer because no one in the tech field will want to go there, won't want to do anything there because of the draconian law. So something to think about, of course, and as always. Let's see. Sergeant Crypto said that's insider trading, in my opinion. Hilarious. You already know how it goes. Someone. That's why I said someone made some money. We're using all this on schools and stuff. We know how this goes. Let's see. Timothy Grigsby said fiat and the legacy financial systems work for those already in power, and thus the wealth gap keeps increasing. Bitcoin changed the game. It has a legacy system scrambling. Again, just the real-time settlement system. The fact that And it's one of those things that it's not that banks and all these companies couldn't figure out a real-time settlement system. There was no reason to, right? The slower we move, the more money they thought they could make. That was their process of doing things. Where now we're actually seeing, instead of stifling things, the faster you move, you can actually make more money because there'll be more transactions and more things going on, right? Even if it's at a cheaper price. But yeah, I mean, that all of that has to do with the legacy system, how they want to keep their wealth gathered. That's why Jamie the Dino Diamond from Chase Bank, their CEO, that's why he came out in 2017 and said Bitcoin is a fraud. Is because if Bitcoin wins, his bank loses a lot. He specifically loses a lot. So of course he wouldn't want to see that. We saw the same thing with Warren Buffett. We saw the same thing with William Gates, where he was now trying to push his vaccines and everything else on this. So we see that that's the name of the game. But it's good that we have communities like this where we can at least let other people know about it. Bitcoin Jake said monthly candle is closing soon too. That's right. There's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. James Doe said how the Goya stock's hilarious. Sergeant Crypto said the state governor and all the state senators brought bags of Link before the announcement. Oh, I would say it's 50-50. Half of them did not buy it only because they don't even know how to use email stills for some of these older ones. But I'm with you. The other half definitely bought into some of the Link. Let's see. Wire Spark said looks like the trend is going to be individual states are going to be partnering with crypto funds. Like I said, I didn't say eloquently at first, but they're getting in bed with them. There's no other way to put it, or I guess the article put it more eloquently. But yeah, they're getting in bed together, and that is what it is, people. That's how this works. Hopefully, we can see the trickle down effect actually work here with these crypto firms getting funding or getting bigger, and then they actually hire more people in the community. So we'll see how that works in the long run, right? Other than that, that's the show for today. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that like and share. And we will be back next week with some more crypto news for you. Cheers, all.